everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. If you recognize this paper pack I have on my desk right now, it is, what was it called? Are We There Yet? And this is an older Close to My Heart pack. I was really excited when this one came out because we had been doing a bunch of traveling, and so it has a bunch of fun things on it. Oh, look at that. All my hidden gems came out. I actually got the workshop kit, so I had a lot of extra little pieces. So I've got things like this. And that's where this piece came from as well. So I'm going to be using this and this today, I think. I was just deciding what I wanted to use. For sure these. And I think this is from a mix-in that kind of matched it. And it just got tossed in this bag. This one here, we went to the Eiffel Tower. So I think I'm going to save this one for when I scrapbook the Eiffel Tower. So that one I'm not going to use. I'm definitely going to use some of the stickers. And I think I want to use some yellow, and I will show you why right away. Here's some more little bits and pieces down here. Okay, so I'm going to put these aside and then show you kind of what I'm thinking of today. So I've got some charcoal gray paper down in here, and you see all my pictures are kind of helter-skelter on here. So I'm definitely want this on this side because this is when we left Calgary and the mountain views and stuff, and then the opposite of what it was like. And we actually arrived at night, but this is the very next morning we kind of got all excited and went walking out to see everything. I think this one I'll put in the middle. I'm thinking I'm going to have this here like this. And then these I think I'm going to put in like a square formation because we hiked Diamond Head the very next day. We just thought, you know what, let's do it. My brother had said that was really fun to do, and it was something we knew we wanted to do. So, so I'm going to do something daring today. It might get interesting because I'm going to use yellow because I've got 2 spots of yellow here. And I definitely want to use my new Happy Hibiscus stamp set. So I've made a bunch of these. None of them are yellow, but this is how they kind of come out. This is just with this stamp and then the embossing folder and cut out. So I'm going to make some more of these, and I'm not sure what colors I'm going to go with yet. And I think I can make a 2-page spread that is kind of 2 separate days, although this from here is one day and this from here, but I really only have these 2 pictures. And I really wanted to use this picture because we got to sit in first class, and that was pretty fun. So we did that once before, but yeah, normally I'm a coach flyer. So that was pretty exciting. And then just the views and stuff. And sometimes it's fun to have part of the plane trip on the layouts, but I often don't want to do a whole layout of just the airport and flying because we're in airports quite a bit. So this is kind of a bunch of photos that I wasn't sure. Like I could have made a whole layout with this, but I didn't really need to because this is basically my 4 best photos. I had about 20 like this, but this is the nicest one. They all look very similar. So I decided, yeah, I'm just going to get this all on one layout. So I think it's going to be called Welcome to Hawaii. And then I'll just let this be kind of a subtitle over here. And this will be like, yeah, arriving at 9 o'clock at night and then the next day, our first impressions. So as I mentioned, this sheet came in the workshop with this paper packet. So I wanted to stretch it onto both pages. I'm going to cut it and then put the rest of it on the right-hand side. And this picture on the top here of my husband, right in the background there is where we actually climbed up. So I do kind of want to put a geotag or a circle around that picture showing that that little mountain that you see in the background is what we're on the top of on the right-hand side. And we walked all the way there and then to the top. We did not take a cab or a bus. So I'm going to get into this yellow color. I'm not sure actually what color this is. It's the same one that was in this paper pack, this Are We There Yet paper pack. And I am not a person that uses yellow very often, but since I have this yellow flower and there's yellow on the monument sign, I decided I'm going for it. So I'm going to add a very, very small yellow trim around the edge of these photos. So I'm just going to have them all in one large mat. This really is a great layout to do if you only have single sheets. Lots of times paper packs don't come with double sheets, and if you only have single sheets, then it is really nice to be able to have some of each sheet on each side of your layout if you're doing a 2-page spread. So this is a great one to keep in mind for that. So I really like how this frames out the pictures of us and kind of separates that time of the day where we were hiking up Diamond Head. Sorry, lost the name there for a minute. It's a whole lot of stairs, which I was not loving in the 28-degree temperature, but once I was up there, it was pretty cool to see the views. So once I had this laid out, I did get to thinking that I love a frame style layout, and since I'm going to have yellow on the inner portion of the layout, I might want to try having some yellow on the outer portion of the layout. So I'm going to bring in a yellow piece of paper here and just see what I think of it in behind there, if I would have my whole layout framed in this yellow with the arrows. And as you can see, I liked it, and so I did it. I did not film that. I filmed it, but I cut it out because it was just me gutting out that yellow paper and then gluing the gray paper over top. So I'm cutting down this map paper to the same size, which is 11.5. And then I'm gonna have the white kind of real estate frame tucked in there, in behind there. Then of course I realized I didn't need a layer of the blue map paper and a layer of the charcoal cardstock, so I just cut them so they overlap a little bit so that I can kind of piece it all together so it's fairly sturdy. And I'm just inking everything in charcoal ink. I was thinking about a third color on this layout, or I guess a fourth color if you include white, and I didn't really want to make gray flowers, and I didn't really want, I suppose I could have made white flowers, but I didn't want to make gray and I didn't want to make blue flowers because I had other plans for those colors. So I thought, well, I think I need a pink or a red. So I missed filming the part where I made those 2 banners that are dropped down under the 3 photos with the hibiscus flower, but yeah, that's the color I chose. That is a mix-in sheet from way back when, and it is the color Smoothie. So I'm using it to do a double matte around my diamond head photos there, and I've got it on that banner. And I decided not to use it behind this picture here, but I'm going to bring the color in instead through using the hibiscus flowers that I'm going to create right shortly here. I also realized there was a whole lot of layers on this layout, and I really didn't need to cover up 3/4 of a sheet of the smoothie paper, so I got it out in behind the pictures of Diamond Head, and that way I have some extra paper to use on another project. I'll mix it right in with this paper pack. I'll throw it right in because it really goes well with this paper pack. Originally, I had thought I was going to use it as a mat or possibly put a circle or some kind of shape in behind, but I don't end up doing that. If you've ever been to Hawaii, this is Oahu, so the city of Honolulu, and there is a huge dormant volcano that is now a state monument. It is a big crater, and basically it's not really a volcano anymore. It's a crater. It's a big hole. And when you go to that park, you are in the crater, and then you climb these series of stairs, and when you get to the top, you are on that outer edge of the crater, and you have that view across the ocean and the city of Honolulu and the coast part, which is absolutely beautiful. And so it was a lot of fun to hike up there. And like I said, we walked to there, which is a long walk. I'm sure we got 20,000 steps that day. But we had a lot of fun, and it was a beautiful sunshiny day. It started out with a little rain, so we were a little nervous, but while we were in Hawaii, it rained every day, but it was sunny every day except one. I could only find little scraps of smoothie paper, so I did not do this in the wisest way possible. I would recommend stamping and then cutting. And I do not cut and emboss at the same time simply because my die cutting machine just doesn't like it. It's a Big Shot, I believe. And it really does not like doing the die and the embossing folder at the same time. But from what I hear from everyone else, if you have the Stampin' Up! Embossing machine or even is the Sizzix, it works great. So I just choose to not do that because I did it and I warped my embossing folder, and I really don't want to warp it any worse. So I just choose to do it in 2 passes. So I wouldn't recommend cutting out the papers first and then stamping, but because I was using scraps, that's how I ended up doing it. And And because I don't want to use the embossing folder with the blade in it at the same time, I end up having to tape my little pieces into place so that they will emboss properly. But that's fine. I have no problem doing that. So once I've embossed them, then I also sand them this time. And I don't do this every time. Sometimes you can ink them, and that works too because the raised edges get extra ink. But I just thought maybe I'm going to distress them with a little bit of sanding because I have this white core paper. So these leaves also, this is a leaf thin cut that comes with the Happy Hibiscus set. If you get the whole set, like the stamp set and the dies, I guess I should call them. So this leaf comes out with kind of lines cut into it as well. And if you sand it, those lines kind of sand and it looks quite cute. So that's how I decided to distress the edges. And later on, I actually distress all the edges of that charcoal paper in the background as well by sanding it a little bit. I also have die cuts for a compass from Close to My Heart. It was right towards the end. We had a travel paper pack, and you could order the card kit, and the card kit had a compass. So I've cut that out in the different colors, and I wanted to just add a little bit of shading to the circle of the compass. So with glacier ink and a little blending brush, I'm just adding a little shading around the edges. I also got the scrapbooking stamp that came with that travel set. That's not the travel set I'm using here, but it was the one at the very end, in the very last catalog from Close to My Heart. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I think Let's Go Anywhere, maybe. So it has like a swirling airplane with dotted lines behind it, and I wanted to use that kind of on the background of that white paper. And there's another one that is just kind of a loop-de-loop, and they came from both the scrapbooking and the card making stamp sets. So I use that to decorate my background. In the loop-de-loop, it says Let's Go Anywhere, and then it's got this little airplane, and I just wanted to use it because when I don't always make layouts with airplanes, so when do I have the opportunity to use an airplane? I thought this was perfect. So, and it fits so nicely nestled in that corner, and it just kind of adds to my embellishment cluster. I did quite a bit of stamping on the background, and my head was in the way for some of it. Plus, I don't really want to make you watch all of it. So I've cut most of it out. And the next thing I'm going to do is start arranging my embellishment clusters and working on my title. I've picked the south-facing room in my house for scrapbooking simply because I wanted a lot of light in the room, but at the time I wasn't making videos yet, and I didn't really realize that how much sunlight is going to shine into this room in the wintertime when the sun sits lower in the sky. So it's wonderful. I get my vitamin D, but yeah, there is a lot of sunlight on this page. On the plus side, it makes it really visible for you guys to watch. And in a few minutes, I kind of notice how much sun is streaming in, and I do prop something up to shade my work so that it's a little bit easier for you to watch, and there's not so many shadows bopping around. I did pop up the two large flowers here, so those are the only things that are popped up, I believe, and everything else I just glued down to the surface. And this is from the sticker sheet, this little word phrase, and I thought the color fit really good, and it looked really nice in this embellishment cluster, so I'm just going to pop that up on there. I actually only pop up under the word trip. I don't pop up under the rest of it because the rest of it's sitting on that yellow flower, which is already popped up. I paused the camera to cut out my letters and then kind of forgot to put it back on. I got a little carried away, so I was starting to glue it down already. I did cut another little piece of paper out from behind the diamond head pictures of that white paper. That white paper has a bit of a grid pattern on it, and I wanted to use that for the Away We Go letters. And since it's hidden anyway, I figured I may as well do that. And the Away We Go letters are from the outline alphabet that was available right at the end of Close to My Heart's being in business. And then the Hawaii letters are from years and years ago from Close to My Heart. They're just a larger alphabet. I'm not even sure what they're called. This is another sticker from the sticker sheet, and I'm trying to fit it in, but it's not really working out for me. So I end up cutting it down and making it smaller. And I do end up making a few more flowers. I had used all the flowers that I had made, but I just thought I need a third spot of embellishing. It just looks so much better. And I end up kind of connecting the Hawaii title to the compass embellishment cluster, just with some journaling strips, but I still think it looks like 3 spots of embellishing, and it just looks so much better when there's 3 and they're kind of in a triangle formation. I also had enough paper left from where I cut that Away We Go title to add some journaling strips. So I cut a bunch of strips and I cut them at different lengths, and I'm just kind of gonna have them spilling off the edge of this picture of Hawaii or Honolulu from Diamond Head. And I really like how those turned out there. They just kind of bring some more white, another spot of white on the page, and they give me a place to add some journaling. I also added this little geotag just above where Diamond Head actually is in the picture. So that, so I remember when I look at this album again down the road that is actually where we walked to. And in the true theme of this layout, I forgot to turn the camera on for adding the flowers to the Hawaii title. So I do not have video of that, but you will see the finished product right away. And hopefully you have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't done so, I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and then you'll know as soon as I share a new video. Here is the finished layout, and I'm pretty excited how it turned out. I usually group all my photos together, so this is something really different for me, but the 3 groups represent 3 kind of different times of the day, or this is the evening before flying there. This is the following morning or day when we were exploring, and then we were walking around. We said, well, let's just go do this hike, which was here, and then we hiked up to the top of Diamond Head. So we were essentially up here. So that's pretty cool. We really enjoyed that day, and I think this really tells the story well. I'm going to give you the close-up. And I found some little gems in my stash and some little shells to tuck in there as like finishing touches. Now, of course, I don't have smoothie ink, so that's why I went with the gray, and I don't actually have a lot of yellow inks either. And color is Smoothie, although in the paper pack I think it's Papaya, and that's why when I stamped this one here, I stamped it in Papaya. And I think that works fine. I don't think it's noticeable. So hopefully you enjoyed watching that. Hit that thumbs up just down here, and I'll catch y'all next time here on YouTube. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.